Well, you know who's having a bad weekend? Harvey Weinstein. Yes, busted. Harvey Weinstein caught doing something with Bill Clinton that will finally ruin the Clintons for good. JR for Liberty Writers reports it's game over for Bill and Hillary. Yes, old hillbilly will no longer be supported by the left after they hear about this news. Okay, there's just no possible chance, right? Can't be. Okay, the left, of course, they support their own no matter how many people they rape, right? So here's the deal. Back in 1998, when Bill lied to America about his sexual relationship with White House intern Monica Lewinsky, the Hollywood mogul Harvey Weinstein, who you may have heard has been accused of sexual assault and rape by a number of women, donated $10,000, yes, $10,000 to Bill Clinton's, not his campaign, his defense fund. Yes, it looks like one sexual assaulter helping out another. Yes, birds of a feather, they say. This is according to the BizPac Review. They state the Washington Compost published a story back in '98 reporting that Harvey Weinstein was one of 62 donors who gave the maximum of $10,000. Now, Weinstein donated along with a number of other notable names. You ready for this? These are the people who were supporting President Clinton when he was, in that whole debacle with Monica Lewinsky. Tom Hanks, Barbra Streisand, Michael Douglas, Ron Howard, Norman Lear, and even Steven Spielberg. Now, the Washington Compost also reported that Clinton's defense fund collected $2.2 million in its first 6 months, tapping into the resentment against the attorney that investigated Clinton as to whether he committed perjury or obstructed justice in the sexual assault lawsuit. So how about them apples, huh? Weinstein also donated $250,000 to the Clinton Foundation, as well as a total of $75,000 to the campaigns of both Bill and Hillary and Barack Obama. Now, Hillary Clinton this week, she came out and she said that she would be returning the money, but it was such a softball crap response. She's like, yeah, I always give 10% of my money to charity. So what? So basically the 10% of money that you bring in, Hillary, you're going to call that, oh, this 10% this year is Harvey's money. So we're going to give 10% of your income for the year to, we'll earmark that as, we'll just call it Harvey's money, we'll give it to some nonprofit. Oh, I can't wait to find out what nonprofit you give it to, Hillary. That's going to be great. So, of course, the left's going to be pouncing all over this, right? No, they won't, my friends. The left will always protect the left, no matter how many women they rape in the process. So what are your thoughts? Comment below, subscribe for updates. If you like what we're doing, give us a thumbs up and share this report on your social networks.
The Las Vegas massacre has left many questions. Conspiracy theories are running wild. Here to break them down is retired lieutenant of the Las Vegas Police Department and host of Blue Lives Radio, Randy Sutton. So, Randy, I'm going to start with the first one that's been swirling around here. Is a woman, Brianna Hendricks, who gave an interview with an NBC affiliate. We can't show the video because we don't own it, but this is what she said. There was a lady who pushed her way forward into the concert venue, into the first row, and started messing with another lady and told us we were all going to die tonight. The reporter says, do you know why she was saying that? Was this after the shots were fired? And Brianna says it was about 45 minutes before the shots were actually fired, but then she was escorted out by security. This is just amazing if that actually happened. What do you think happened there?
I don't think it happened. If it had happened, that person would have been identified. It would have been questioned by law enforcement, and would have been a focus on that. I don't think it happened.
You think this woman is just making this up, completely making it up out of thin air to the reporter?
There may have been something that was said. There may have been some disturbance, but I'm not buying it.
Okay, you're not buying it. Something else very interesting, I believe you brought this to our attention. The MGM CEO, his name's Jim Murren. The weeks leading up to the attack, he sold a ton of stock. That's always suspicious when things of this nature happen. Why would he be doing that? I'm sure there's a normal reason, don't you think?
I think that there is a normal reason, but talk about giving fodder for the conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better. Let's just feed the sharks here with that.
Yeah.
I'm sure that there's a legitimate reason. Maybe he had to buy the baby new shoes or something, but.
Some expensive shoes.
He made a lot of money
baby.
on the deal.
I know. You know, that's like when people dump stock right before 9/11 in some industries that was very suspicious. But, you know,
Right.
It just leaves a lot of questions out there. One of the other things I think a lot of people really honed on to right at the jump was the ISIS affiliation. ISIS immediately taking credit for the attack, saying that this guy converted 6 months before. Now we see he may have taken some cruises to some Middle East locations. Do you believe there's any ISIS connection now?
I don't think there's been anything that says that there's been an ISIS connection. ISIS they're a bunch of leeches. I mean, talk about people who are sucking up for PR. That's them. I mean, somebody could get killed in Oshkosh, and they're going to take credit for it.
Okay.
So I think it's a bunch of garbage.
Okay, and the police are still doing the forensic investigation into the guy's computers, so we don't have that information yet, but so far it does not look like they found any ISIS connection. One of the things that interests me, there has been talk about accomplices. There has been talk about second shooters, and people all over the internet say they saw second shooters. If you look at the video, and now we're hearing about this man Paddock employing prostitutes in the days before the attack. Do you see any involvement of any other person, including the wife or the girlfriend or whoever, that draws your attention?
Not at all. Now, the one thing that's interesting about the prostitution angle is that a prostitute that came forward said that this guy had violent rape fantasies and considered himself evil. I actually think that may be more significant than it is being held out to the public, because that does show a very odd personality kind of thing going on. So, but I do not think that there was any shooters. Personally, I've gotten some crazy messages and emails accusing me of being an accomplice for reporting on this.
Yeah, this thing always happens whenever there's a big tragedy. People always look for conspiracy theories. I was also reading some reporting on the prostitution angle, too. Apparently, the guy had told one of the escorts that, his father was on the FBI's most wanted list and he had bad blood. This could also just be this guy had nasty DNA. His dad was a suicidal, homicidal maniac that might have just kicked on down to his bloodstream. But obviously the guy's an evil person. Now, the last one, the timeline, very confusing. The timeline has now changed 3 times. The security guard was shot allegedly beforehand, then it was afterwards, then he called, and he didn't call. Then the security guard was supposed to do these interviews and then bailed, and no one can find him. What's going on here?
Well, I think that he was told to shut the hell up. That's what I think. I think that he was getting ready to come to this studio to do his thing, and he was suddenly spirited away by
lawyers.
Shall we say? Probably, I would think so, and so I don't think it's going to be mysterious. I think that it was a business decision, if you will, and so I think that's the reality. Yeah,
because someone at the MGM or Mandalay Bay has got to be up all night figuring out how much money they're going to have to pay out in settlements, because this thing obviously did not go well on a number of levels. And they also just reported